You know those big sugar shakers that they have?
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just walked over, picked one up. I walked up to him and I said, "What did you say?"
Hillbilly Live.
Hey, y'all, I'm Amber Parker.
Brian Taylor.
And this is the Grizzly Rose Backstage Pass podcast. And we're here today with Josh Jones.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Here I am. I've made it.
Thank
So
you.
Josh, I gotta bring up this story. This happened back in like 2009 when Amber and I were in the greatest state in the union, Mississippi, and we were stuck there for a few years. Thank God we escaped that hellhole. But anyway, we were sitting there watching CMT in this little show called Can You Duet,
Mhm.
and we were watching, having a great time watching, and all of a sudden, I thought Amber had been drunk. Been drinking heavily that night, maybe smoked too much pot or something, because she blurts out, I
She
know
definitely
him.
smoked some pot. I'm sure about that.
Yeah, I did.
There's
And
no,
as
there's
she's
no question.
You need to wake up. But not just any cup of coffee is going to do it. You need Hillbilly House Brew. Trust me. With those beautiful notes of caramel and also notes of country music, you'll thank us. Get yours now at hillbillylive.com/shop.
Oh, I'll be damned. You really can taste the notes of caramel and country music. She's yelling, I know him. I'm like, shut up. No, you don't. You don't know him. We're in Mississippi. He's on national television, but apparently y'all used to work together, right?
Yeah, we did. We did. That's how I got to Nashville. It was through radio. We worked for, it was WMCI, right?
In Mattoon, Illinois.
In
There's a
Mattoon,
good shout
Illinois.
out.
Yeah,
There's a good
yeah,
shout
yeah,
out.
yeah. Did you
Remember,
know they still play? We teamed up on spots together, and he would do little jingles, and I would do the voice part in the middle. And there's
Mhm.
still
Oh,
a
that's too
commercial that
funny.
plays.
Cooper Bumpus?
Cooper Bumpus.
Yeah.
Didn't y'all get paid for that? Like some royalties or
No,
something?
No, I
no.
think that was a one and done kind of deal.
The way I would do it is I started going into these businesses and I would write jingles for these companies, these small businesses or companies before I would even talk to them. So I'd already have a song ready. That was kind
Mhm.
of my angle. And I'd go in there with a song. I'd be like, hey, y'all, check out this song for your. I'd be like, and then I'd play it and they'd be like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. I'd be like, well, that's free. Now you just got to buy some advertising, buy some air.
Mhm.
I mean, you sounded like you were actually a really good sales rep, because I mean, Amber and I worked with a lot of sales reps who they were worthless. A lot of
Yeah.
worthless people.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had an angle, and Amber and I were like the dream team, man. We get in there, and yeah, like you said, that commercial still plays to this day. So
And
That's
it's
too
pretty cool.
funny.
it was very rudimentary recording equipment. Like he played live and I talked. Like we had to time my speech because it was like a
Mhm.
30-second spot or something. So he had his first part and I spoke in the middle and it was all like live recorded.
I
Mhm.
love it. I mean, that's keeping it real.
God, I
Dude,
didn't know how to edit better.
do you remember Tommy? Tommy that worked there at the radio
I,
station.
I
Dude,
absolutely remember him. I wrote him letters when he went to jail.
Oh, was
yes,
Tommy the guy that y'all were like pen pals when he was in prison?
Mm-hmm.
I love
dude,
it. I mean,
Tommy.
because prison people need friends.
Well, man, he's just like what a character he was, right?
Yeah.
And I wrote a song about Tommy actually, and because you know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Okay.
was a crazy story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he passed away.
Right. Well, because it was a crazy story how that happened because he
Hmm.
robbed someone and killed them and went on the run. And then
Yeah.
while he was on the run, got killed by the cops.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
He had a
Oh, Jesus.
shootout in
Yeah,
like Springfield,
So, I mean, there could
Arkansas.
be a movie made about his life.
there should
There,
be.
there really should be. There's already a song. I mean, the guy, I remember meeting him at the radio station. He had like this like secondhand suit on and he had like veneers and he was just his hair all slicked back. He just looked
Hmm.
so, and I was like, this guy's like, he's just a character. And then we were scouting out some business or something together. I can't remember, just to look for sales. And there was a piano in this like little room, and he sat down and started playing the piano and singing. And I was like, wow, he
Oh,
Hmm.
plays and
wow.
sings. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty
Anyways,
badass.
that's I'm going off on a tangent, but that's part of just
It's
the
okay.
radio.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
The crazy radio days with Amber at WMCI.
Yeah.
And what were y'all saying? That was 20 years ago.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody said that. I don't.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I just want to put that out
It
there. You know, I
was.
mean,
It was.
because
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah. 20 years
that,
ago. Wow.
that's really
Time
painful to
flies.
say out loud. Oh
I
God,
know.
2005, 20 years ago. Jesus.
It's painful on my hairline too, you know.
It's
So
painful on my waistline.
Yeah, and crow's feet. I'm really starting to see that a lot more. It's like every
We're
morning I get like another line.
we're big
yeah.
believers in the beauty filter on the internet. We both
Yeah,
have beauty filters on right now.
yeah.
Hmm.
So you're
I
welcome.
need one of those.
I should have taught you how
So
to turn it on.
all right, so we want to
Yeah.
go back to that little CMT duet show.
Yeah.
Still Magnolia. I mean, y'all came out of that show because y'all ultimately won that damn thing, and
Hmm.
it was just like a whirlwind for y'all. Y'all became a big deal.
Hmm. It's funny. I played a show last night at the Wild Horse, which is where we won the show, and that's the first time I think I've been in there since that happened. And they've redone the whole building and everything. It's called Category 10 now. It's Luke Combs Bar, so
Oh
Is it
it's really
yeah.
nice?
awesome. Yeah, it's really nice. They've got LED like stuff coming from they've redone the whole sound system and like it's really awesome. But yeah, we won that show and it was crazy. Like you go from playing to nobody to playing in front of thousands of people like overnight. And that's a pretty.
And when y'all auditioned for that show, I mean, did you have any idea that y'all might even win that thing?
No, we just wanted to get on TV. We just wanted to like be like, well, we can get maybe a little exposure and see
Yeah.
what happens. And actually, the line was so long, and when I figured out that it was going to be a record label head was one of the judges, I tried to leave. I was like, I'm not sticking around for this. But we were
Love it.
almost through the line
Yeah.
because like, you knock on every door and everything and you get turned down 100 times literally, you
Mhm.
know.
Nashville loves turning good people down. That's what Nashville's known for. If you're good, they're like, no, we don't want that.
Yeah, so like I mean, I remember seeing Scott Borchetta at the time. He walked by and he was going to be in there, and I tried to leave. And Megan, actually, I have to give it to her. She talked me into staying, and I was
Oh,
like,
I'll be
okay.
damned. I'll
So
be
yeah,
damned.
so I did, and we went in there, and it was like immediately he was just like liked us. It was almost uncomfortable because we were like, you can like other people too, or pretend like you want to sign other
So he
people
honed
because
in on y'all. Y'all were like
right
his
from the
prey.
right from the jump, yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, it was
And
cool.
y'all had, I mean, y'all had some massive hits. I mean, Keep on Loving You. I still listen to that song today.
Yeah, that was a great record. I mean, the whole record was just like, man, it was like I don't listen to it. Um, but every once in a while I will like, I don't know, I've probably listened to it twice in the last 15 years or
I'll be
12,
damned.
13 years. But when I do, I'm like, wow, that was an incredible record. And I wish
Yeah.
we would have been able to make more. We only got to make one, but we had the second one lined up and everything, but every kind of, we didn't get to really do it. But um, anyways,
I
say
know
love.
shit happens. I know what was that 2011? Y'all got on tour with Reba. I think that was Reba's like big comeback tour. And then I know the rehabilitation stint, kind of got in the way of shit, and shit happens.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
happens.
that's what
Yeah,
happens. But while
yeah,
you were out and about, since it's the Grizzly Rose Backstage Pass podcast, I know you have a story about playing the Grizzly Rose.
yeah. We played there, and the power went out
Oh no
in the
shit.
place
Oh no.
because of like a storm. Yeah, and so we had to end up playing kind of in the dark, and like everybody in the whole place had to be quiet. And I don't remember if there's like candles, like they had some kind. So there was some lighting going on, but we had to play. But it was a really intimate show because everybody had to be quiet and kind of like gather around. And it was just us playing acoustic because we didn't have microphones. So we were just, so it was really special. Actually, it was really cool.
I bet that
And then,
was really
So
cool.
I mean, did y'all have to finish the whole show like that?
yeah,
Oh, I'll be damned.
yeah, it was crazy.
That would have been
So
badass to witness, though.
yeah, and
Well, and was it sold out?
It was pretty packed. I can't remember exactly,
Did you
but
get
yeah.
Yeah,
a buckle? That's how you know if you get the Grizzly Rose belt buckle. Did you get a belt buckle?
What is that when it's sold out?
Yeah,
yeah,
they give you a big ass nice belt buckle when you sell it out.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
with
Oh
your name
no.
on it and everything. It's like you won like the Grizzly Rose Rodeo.
No, I don't remember. Maybe we did. Like we get see that's the thing when you're like famous and you're touring and everybody wants to to see what you're doing. You get so much free shit that it's like, why didn't I get free shit when I was broke? It's like
Why is
every
that?
and
Because
in fact
you need that free stuff when you're broke.
well, and you get so much stuff that I'm like, I mean, I'm not really a material person, so it's like I don't know. I give a lot of stuff away. Like
Yeah.
I had like Gibson and Fender giving me guitars that I was giving my friends. I'd be like, here, have a guitar, you know.
Is that
So
why
there's a
everybody gives
Damn.
guitars as gifts? Like, you see Lainey Wilson and Hardy giving people guitars as gifts. Is that why? Because they got them for free.
yeah, and it's yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it is, and it's like it's like, well, you have all these guitars, you have access to everything that you need, and plus it makes that they want these artists to give away guitars and stuff like that
Yeah.
because it's just promotion for their brand, so it's like that's part of the deal, seems like. Hey,
So,
can I just say
yeah.
one thing?
Yes.
Fuck.
There you go. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yes, all
Thank
cuss
you.
words are welcome here at all times.
That's what I'm
At
talking
all
about.
times.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, let's talk about now. We love your song DUI.
Yeah.
So tell us, does that come from personal experience?
Man, I hate to admit it, but yeah, it does, yeah.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
escaped a DUI before. I've just
We
very
all
narrowly.
have.
We all have.
have.
Really? So
Yeah.
yeah. I just had an incredible. See, I can't even talk about this. I feel like now because it's like so. It's so, what? Let's hear your story, Amber. How did you escape the DUI?
So,
Oh yes.
so I was at a wedding with my boyfriend. So it was a long time ago, back when I dated
Was that back in the
guys.
late 1900s?
It's like
Yeah,
it was
boyfriend.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
But he was one of the last boyfriends I had. But anyway, we had gone to his brother's wedding. And I had a ride lined up. I had a ride lined up to take me home. My dad was supposed to come and get us, but I had had enough to drink that I forgot about that. We decided we were going to go ahead and go home to my mom's house. It was about 15 minutes out of town because I
Oh
still
yeah,
lived at
not
home.
far. You can drive that far drunk. Yeah.
15 minutes, not far. So anyway,
Yeah.
before we get out of town, we see the cherries and blueberries behind us.
Mhm.
And I pull over. That he's drunk in the passenger seat, just barely hanging on. There's an open container in the back seat that I realized
that's where they
there.
belong. Yeah, when you're done with them, toss them in the back
The
seat. You don't want to
cop-
litter.
The
Yeah,
cop
toss 'em in the back
walks
seat.
up, and drunk Amber is sitting here, and he goes, "Ma'am, have you been drinking?" And I look up and go, "Maybe."
Ooh, baby.
And he goes, "Ma'am," and I said, "Yes." We were at his brother's wedding. He was still in the tux and everything. We were at his brother's wedding. "Where are you going?" "Going to my mom's house. It's just in Lakewood, 15 minutes away." And
15 whole minutes. You should have been like 15.
I'm on my way.
Well,
15
when
meters.
I say, yeah, pretty much. But somehow and we were 20.
Oh, underage drinking.
We
Good.
were underage
Good.
Oh,
also.
wow.
And he probably saved, I don't know if he saved our lives, but he probably saved us from not getting several jobs because I couldn't have got a radio job with my DUI because you can't drive the big truck.
Wow.
But he let me go home. So that was
That's
how
awesome.
I very narrowly escaped. I don't know why he let me go.
Yeah. I guess because you're very likable. You're just
I guess so.
You're-
I was
Well,
You
kind
are,
of
yeah.
tipsy.
Didn't you have a nickname for Amber back in the day? What was her
I
nickname?
just call her Amby. Amby.
That's a
Mhm.
good one, Amber.
And she called me
like that one.
Captain.
Yep.
I could see that. I could see
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
you,
so
you have more talent than her, so yeah, you would be the captain.
yeah, well, yeah. No, but my DUI experiences was that I just had an incredible. Well, first of all, I just have an incredible capacity, or I did, and to drink a lot of alcohol. and just function. Like, so, well, not function, but like be drunk. But when I had to turn it off, like I had a lot of dexterity and balance, I guess.
Mhm.
So it got to the point where when I would get pulled over and these cops had known that I'd been drinking, I would say, well, I give me a field sobriety test. And they ultimately would do that anyway, but I would always make sure. I'd be like, I'm on camera, right? And they'd say, yeah. And so I got so cocky about it. I'd be like, I'm on camera, right? I'd be like, yeah. And so I would do it, but I would like put my arms out. I'd be like touching my nose like this while I'm walking in a straight line.
Oh
And I'd
God.
like, I just got it to where I was like, okay, well, they'd be like, well, gotta let you go.
Can you do
And
the alphabet backwards?
no, I don't
Was
think
that
they
ever
asked.
part of it? They don't do
No one
that?
can do that. No one.
That's a myth. They
No
don't
one.
ask you to do that.
Oh.
But one time actually, it was I got out of one. We were in Gainesville, Florida. We went out there, like we were living on a horse farm in Ocala. Megan and I were,
Mhm.
and because our manager was down there, and we decided to go down there and live in a horse barn and
I love
write
it.
write songs. There was nothing in this side of this barn except for a bed and like a TV. And anyways, we decided to drive to Gainesville. It's like 45 minutes or something from Ocala. And
Uh-huh.
so we get there and we go out for the night and just get schmammered. And that's what we did back then. And I remember getting in her car. She had a blue Beetle, like one of those blue Volkswagen Beetles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And like I smoked a joint. I was like smoking a joint and had been out all night drinking in the car. And as soon as I like put it out or whatever, a cop rolls up, and it's like, you know, it's like gives me a field sobriety test, and I passed it. And this is right after I think I'd been in a bar fight just like 10 minutes before that. So it was funny. We had walked into this little restaurant, like that people go into after the bars close. And we walked in to look at the menu, and there was like a group of like guys here and some other people over here. I don't remember what it was, but we walked up, looked at the menu, sit there at the counter, and then we decided we didn't want to eat there. So we start walking out, and this big guy says, "You gonna fucking not order, walk in here and not order shit? What the fuck?" And we're so those big sugar shakers that they have.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just walked over, picked one up. I walked up to him and I said, "What did you say?" and then this and he's like, "What are you gonna do with that?" And I was like, "Well, I'll show you what I'm gonna do with it." And I smacked him over the head with it.
Oh.
And he stood up, and he was like 6 foot.
So it
He
didn't
was like
phase
six.
them.
He was like 6'6". And yeah, we get into this like thing, and like
Ooh.
I ended up like toppling over these tables, and he was crying out for his friends, and they were all kind of laughing. And I assume they were laughing because he was getting his ass kicked, and I assume it's because he's a bully and he does this a lot.
Mhm.
But anyways, and so then like yeah, so then we get to her car and that happens. So it was crazy times, and and then if obviously, so yeah, that's the story.
There you
That's a
go.
I
good,
like
yeah,
it. I
Yeah.
like it.
yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
So,
But it's
but
I'll tell you my DUI story
Oh.
that I got out of. Thank God. So I was coming back from San Antonio to Victoria, Texas. I was leaving a I think it was a BMX like event, and of course, back in the day, I had to drink while I was
wait,
driving
so
because
so
that's
you
how you do
you, you
things.
escaped a DUI riding on a BMX bike?
No, I was driving my Toyota. No, it was a Chevy Cavalier at the time, is what I had actually.
Super
So I
cool.
was driving through Cuero, and I was working in TV at the time, and the guy who pulled me over, because I thought, man, I'm going to jail, because I had all the cans in my passenger seat, and I was still working on the rest of the 12 pack, because I was thirsty. 11 beers weren't enough.
Mhm.
And I pull over into this church parking lot, because it's safe. Jesus is there, and we can all talk things out. And I'm thinking, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. And all of a sudden, the lights in my face, and he says, "Brian, is that you?" I said, and I said, and I believe his name is Steven. I said, "Steven, is that you?" Because Steven had worked with me at the TV station, and he was so happy because he finally got to go live his dream to go be a cop. And we talked it out, and he's like, "Hey, how you been? You still working at the station?" I said, "Yeah, congrats, man, on becoming a cop, man. It's beautiful to see you as a cop, saving lives, protecting the community." And as he gets closer to the car, he could tell I was drunk off my ass. And he's like, "You been drinking?" I said, "Yeah." I would say, "Yeah, it's what I do, Steven. You know this." And he goes, "Well, you need to get those cans out of your car and just sit here for a while, and you'll be fine. I'll let you sleep it off, and then you need to drive on back home. But you have about an hour or two you can rest." So, I mean, if it wasn't for being a buddy that I worked with, I would have had myself a DUI. But I got out of that because I worked with that guy, and I think
Luck of the
Jesus had a
draw.
lot to do with it too, because I was in that church parking lot.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for Steven.
And Jesus.
Thank goodness.
And Jesus.
That's right. Stephen and Jesus.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some.
We all got DUI stories. See,
I know. Well, it's
Everybody
and
does.
I've learned too, like being a part of like country radio and like partying with record execs and whatnot, because they want you to play their records and stupid shit like that. Basically, this industry teaches you how to be really good at being drunk or on some drugs and really functioning well.
Nashville. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Nashville is just it's full of just alcoholics just playing music.
I mean, look at Broadway. They are making millions of dollars of all kinds of people traveling just to go to a bar and get shit faced.
These poor musicians down there, they work for you can make good money. You can make good money, but I mean, they essentially become like, you get paid in beer sometimes too. So you're getting free drinks. And so it's like becomes a thing. And getting on a stage every night, it's like, you got to get on a stage. You got to put it all out there.
They got to play for hours, don't they?
Yeah, you got to play for hours, and it's kind of like, it's a nightlife type thing, and it's, getting in front of people and putting on a performance it makes it a lot easier to have a couple drinks and do it.
Yeah.
Just naturally, it's like, yeah, so it's that's what it's kind of the scene kind of is, but yeah, the song is it's kind of like more of I'd like to think of it now more as a metaphor of like kind of getting second chances in life. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
because I mean, in the past 20 years, life has changed a lot. You're a dad. You're a dad now, right?
Yeah, I'm a daddy. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, which is great. It's been
is
great.
It? How old is it? A boy, girl?
Boy. His name's Lawson. He'll be 3 in January.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm a dad myself now. We have a little girl. She just turned a year. And I keep hearing as they keep getting older, even at 2 and 3, it doesn't get any better. Like they're crazy. I mean, they're crazy kids, aren't they?
Yeah. Really, the easiest part now looking back was when they were just a newborn, like first, I mean, you lose a lot of.
Yeah, they laid there. They just laid there. It was so much. You could just sit them down and go do something.
Changing a diaper, they're so small, it's so easy, Now it's like my son, like, when they're in their 2s, it's like they think they're in like jazzercise while you're you're trying to change their diaper, and they're like they think they're Bruce Lee, kicking, and so it just depends. But yeah, it's been great for me. It's the joy of my life, you know the feeling.
Yeah, it really changes a lot how you look at life.
So Brian's been talking though about putting her on a leash when they start going out in public. Now that she can walk around.
Yeah. We need one for Lawson. He's a wild man. I don't know about that. I feel like I want to do it, but then I also don't
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy with the kid on the leash?
Yeah, there's like this whole black comedian, I think, had a whole thing about that. He's like, was it Cat Williams or somebody talking about it? It was like, that's such a white person thing. Like, putting your kid on a leash. It's like, I don't know. I was like, but yeah, I mean, I understand it, and I would love to do it, but I guess maybe I care too much about what people think about it. It's it would be
Human
make life a lot
behavior.
easier.
I
It
know, because
would
I don't
make
want to
life.
chase my kid through a crowd and trip and fall. Because I would
Yeah,
trip and fall. I'm really good at tripping and falling on my face.
yeah. Or you don't want your kid to be kidnapped. Hey,
Oh,
like,
I know. You think about that as a parent. The things that keeps you up at night as a parent. I mean, and I
yeah,
find myself sometimes drinking more late at night, just worrying about shit.
yeah. That's what are you
There
gonna
you
do?
go. Back to drinking every
Back to
time.
drinking.
I'm an
Yeah.
adult. I'm an adult. I can do what I want
You guys
until,
have that? Yeah.
yeah, the police
So
say no.
I have a question because I was kind of confused and we both felt a little bit stupid. So when you were in Steel Magnolia, you went by Joshua Scott Jones. Are you going
Yeah.
just by Josh Jones now?
Yeah. I'm just going by Josh Jones. That's what I mean. I've always. I don't know. I just.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's less formal.
Yeah. It's less formal, and that's just my name. Everybody's always
Yeah.
called me Josh Jones. I mean, there's a lot of us out there, but you
So
know,
why? I mean, so why did you go with Joshua Scott Jones?
it was talked about before we kind of got out there by the label, and I I didn't have I couldn't decide. I was like, what do I want to go by? And I think, the record label head was like, I think that Joshua Scott Jones sounds awesome. I was like, okay. But it's a mouthful, it's like
Mm-hmm.
Record
it's a lot
label
of
people, they
names.
think they have the best ideas. They really do.
Yeah, and I mean, I was new to it, so I was like, well, let's go with that. I don't know, but I feel like I've just kind of, you know, evolved and musically and everything, and just kind of want to change it up. That's all.
So what's coming for Josh Jones in 2025 with the new year?
New music. Just gonna be releasing singles and putting together shows and um, actually having a meeting on the 27th after Christmas to talk about strategy and plan moving forward for the new recordings, and gonna be making new records and writing and everything that's getting ready to happen. So
How,
yeah.
So
how much music do you think you have just sitting and waiting?
Oh, so much. I mean, I had 4 records out that I pulled down when I signed this new deal. So I had 4 records out, but I took them all down because we're going to start releasing singles individually and deciding what we want to release. But I would say I've got, I don't know, 100 and some
Jeez.
songs. I mean, that I've written. I don't know that they'll all see the light of day, but I think that at least, there's at least probably 60
Damn.
maybe that will. But
Damn. Nice.
but like, you're still always chasing the dragon, trying to find write an awesome song and another hit song or hit song, but just you can't really think. I've never really thought about it like that. I've always just written songs, but at this point, I do want to write songs that connect with people
Yeah.
and kind of further the whole process because I've got a kid.
Yeah.
right?
So I mean,
Do
I
you,
can't just be you know
do you always write alone, or have you started writing with other people? What's your process
I
on that?
I've always traditionally written alone, but I have over the years, and especially moving to Nashville, it's such a songwriting town and co-writing town that I got involved in that. And sometimes you get together with somebody and you write a song in 30 minutes, but sometimes you just sit there for 3 hours looking at each other, and so you just never know, and that's
Mhm.
you know but yeah, so but a lot of times I write songs that come out too, and real easy, and that's nice, and then some songs have taken me 10 years to write, so
Damn.
yeah, it's a grind.
I love your solo work, man. It's good, and it seems like it keeps getting better.
Thanks. Yeah, actually the DUI, I recorded that like 12 years ago, and
Oh wow.
a lot of these songs, and I went back in and recut the vocals because my voice has changed so much, and um and reworked some lyrically, did just remix these songs, remastered them, and did some touch ups, but the tracks are, they're old. They're from 2012.
I'll
So
be damn. You wouldn't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So I feel like
Well,
the record was a little ahead of its time back then, and it's kind
probably.
of caught up with itself. So, but yeah,
Sometimes things have to marinate for a little bit.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. I like that
Not
word.
not not like how you cook a steak though, Amber. I mean, you ruin steaks. I mean, you overcook
Well
them.
done means well done.
That's
You eat your
not.
steaks well done.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
she does. That's what she does.
Absolutely.
Often. It's
Look,
embarrassing for the steak.
Yeah.
it's delicious. And you dip it in ranch. Mm.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's disgusting. It really is disgusting.
No way. You're
Yes.
lying. You're
No,
lying.
She's
look,
not. I've
I'm
watched it.
not.
I've watched it.
We'll
Even
meet
at
up.
nice steak restaurants, when we sucker other people into paying, she'll
Uh-huh.
sit there and ruin a good steak.
We'll meet up for
Wow.
dinner. We'll order steak. We'll see how it's done.
Okay. Okay. I like medium, people that go
Medium's
medium rare.
good.
That's close.
Medium's good. I think medium is a perfect way to go.
Yeah, I do too. It's like it's a little it's grainy. It's like medium rare when it's like it's too raw. It's not
Yeah,
good. There's less flavor. People think that. I think that medium is like
it's
that's
perfect.
when you get the most flavor.
I'm
But
Okay.
yeah.
hoping someday we can get Amber there, but yeah,
I like
it's been a
mine
challenge.
dry and tough.
Why don't
Like
you just yeah, I mean, why don't you just like if you're dipping it in ranch, what you could just eat whatever.
it's really like a boat for ranch is what it is.
Exactly.
Oh, she shouldn't be allowed to eat steak.
Oh, that's why the waistline's been growing over the past 20 years. Anyway.
Sacrilege.
So
Yeah.
so where can people find your music now? Just so we make sure everybody knows where to go to check out DUI.
Wherever you can find music.
And Josh Jones, right? Not Joshua
Josh
Scott
Jen-
Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully it works out because the name change. Like my Wikipedia page is Joshua Scott Jones and everything. So everything
Do you have a new Josh Jones website? Because your website was
uh,
Joshua Scott Jones, wasn't it?
no, it's the my stuff is through Raven Entertainment now. If you go to their
Okay.
website, you can find stuff on me. So, but yeah, we'll see how this goes.
There's no hopefully it's going to be a really good year for you. I believe that.
Yeah, I think so. So I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you. You're our second interview for the Grizzly Rose Backstage Pass podcast.
Cool.
We talked to Mark Miller from Sawyer Brown last week.
Oh, okay.
I know.
How's he doing?
We both
He's
fangirled
doing really good.
and embarrassed
I was
ourselves.
impressed. I was impressed with everything they have going on because they just put out a documentary. He just wrote a book, and
wow.
they just dropped a new album. And I guess Blake Shelton produced the documentary and the album.
Really?
They're still doing it. They're still doing it
Wow.
after what, like 40 years now?
Yeah, that's cool. That's wild.
And they got a lot of hate in the beginning. Like it was, yeah.
'Cause they were on Star
Nashville was
Search.
very unfriendly to them.
Oh, they were on Star Search?
Yeah,
That's
they
how
won
they
Star
got their
Search
start. And kind of the same thing. They just wanted to go on Star Search to get
just to go on
exposure
TV.
and to also get a tape that they could show, Nashville, hey, this is us. But they wound up
Right.
winning the show as well.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. So that's I know all about that. But good for them.